Hello, good viewer. I'm Joshua Njoroge Karuja. Welcome back. This is part 4 of the power of imagination with the subtitle Imagination at Work. You may need to watch the first 3 videos to be able to follow effectively. The man who can sincerely thank God for the things which are as yet he owns on imagination has real faith. Positive imagination and faith work together. Do you remember the message in Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is imagination at the highest level, a visualization of what is not seen with the naked eyes, while the inner mind can see clearly the object. As I said in the previous video, the wider and deeper the knowledge and understanding of how things work with God, the easier the imagination and assurance of completion of the object. Now, I would like to give more emphasis on the positive aspect of imagination as the driving force of the mind. This is the real, true experience in one's life, though at times hidden. First of all, I give the illustration of the 2 brave young men remembered in history as Joshua and Caleb, whose imagination was positive and dominant. As we read from Numbers chapter 13, against all odds, these 2 encouraged the people. Though initially they were not listened to, it is the 2 who made Israel enter the promised land. They could see or visualize it clearly. The threshold was a strong positive mind disposition. I emphasize, positive imagination and faith work together. In chapter 13 verse 30b, we read, "Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it." That is from New King James Version. And chapter 14 verse 9 says, "Only do not rebel against the Lord, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread." Think of it, they are our bread. We shall eat them. Their protection has departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them. The driving dominant forces won the day because the focus was leaning on the inherent presence of the power of God, whose driving dominant forces reside. Secondly, I would like to draw out some treasures from wider reading from the second epistle of St. Paul to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6 to 7. "Therefore I remind you to stir up the gift of God which is in you. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, timidity, but of power and of love, and of a sound mind." I like to emphasize, stir up the gift of God which is in you. This is the threshold of this talk. Develop a positive mind disposition, which is your God-given natural inherent qualities of your mind. Think this all the time. Repetition is the mother of learning. If you repeat what you want as many times as needed, the subconscious mind will affirm this and let go what you do not want. Children are good at this. The gifts and talents are made alive by the use of inherent forces that are there in everybody, waiting to be awakened. This is a positive, willful action on the side of every person. This is where the positive force of your imagination brings about expected goals. I like to talk about these inherent forces within. There are many of them. Because of time and space, I have picked the 3 mentioned in the passage I have just read. For God has given us the spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. The first force is power. Remember, I have repeated regarding this forum, the subject, the power of imagination. I would like to reverse this and say, imagination is power, a force to reckon with when concentrated. There are many ways to talk of power. We talk of political power, financial power, mental power, ecclesiastical power, spiritual power, and many others. I would like to highlight spiritual power because it underlies all these others, which when treated broadly means the dynamic power in every person who acknowledges God in one way or another. I would like to emphasize this. Spiritual power is not ecclesiastical power. Spiritual power, I had some ecclesiastical power when I was working. Now I'm retired. But I have spiritual power which will remain forever in my life. It is positive mind disposition, which is your God-given natural inherent qualities of your mind. It only becomes effective when it acknowledges and used for the common good. It influences, it makes one who inwardly realizes its potential existence to exert action that is needed to achieve the divine purpose with courage. It is worth noting that, unfortunately, people in power have used this power of imagination for wrong reasons and create havoc to their communities and countries. This we call inversion of power. We have had this all over in political powers and others. However, I would like to concentrate on the rightful and positive imagination for the common good. Remember the motto in Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. Mark the word can. Here means power, dynamism, the power of a dynamite. It derives its force from wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of its potential and source, which is God alone, the creator of all. It is the driving force of the gifts, talents, and skills. Other powers are not permanent and may fail, but spiritual power remains because it is eternal. It is that spiritual power which holds the church together. And it also holds each and every person who believes in God that power to continue to the very end. It does not die, but can only be made dormant in a person's life. This is why positive action on the side of every person is absolutely necessary. Think of it, take it and act on it. I can, I am a dynamite. I can, I am a dynamite. Now, the second force is love. Whereas there are many ways love is talked about, I've shared this in detail in my earlier video with the title 8 Key Divine Laws. You will see them if you go through my videos. Here I would like to bring the inherent force of love against situations that are potential for creating timidity and the related weaknesses. Love is strong, powerful in action. When it comes to accomplish the force of a talent or skill, it is that deep emotional pressure to achieve the desired effect. It builds confidence in your inner being. It is passion that cannot be put down by the intimidating or resistant forces for that matter. In actual fact, when you love what you are doing or love someone, you do not give attention to the weaknesses, obstacles, or challenges that come on the way. You embrace them instead. People you marvel at the way you have succeeded. Man thinks the most, both consciously and unconsciously, of that which he loves the best. The simplest way to govern thought is to do so through love. If we wish to develop the greater and the higher within us, we must love everything that contains greatness, and our love must be with the whole heart. This is every fiber of our being. That is, every fiber of our being must actually thrill with a passion for that higher something which we desire to develop. The love with which we love must be developed into greater worth if we are to penetrate the realms of worth through our love. Millions of people are praying to become better, more noble, and more spiritual, but too many fail to receive answer to such prayers. And the reason why is found in the fact that they do not love as deeply as they should those superior attainments for which they are praying. The last force on this list is sound mind. Sound mind is also referred to as self-control or self-discipline. It is a state of mind whereby you harness the forces of your focus and purpose towards the direction you want to take. The state of a sound mind is that peaceful, graceful, steady, and forceful purpose. You enjoy what you are doing, however difficult and challenging it is. Through the sound mind, you are able to capture otherwise hidden ideas. New and great ideas are developed in the mind when it is filled with the qualities I've mentioned above. That is peace, graceful, steady, and forceful purpose. I've used this principle of imagination in producing this work. At the beginning, I taught myself how to use computer, and today I know a lot about it. When I wanted to know about the internet, a friend told me, you just go. And I did it. I built my website, and now I am on the YouTube. I've always used the thinking, if others have done it, why not me? When I get stuck, I tell myself, there must be a way, even though I do not see it now. With a bit of relaxation and listening to the voice from within and some persistence, I just get the idea to try the other alternative. And it works. If it works for me, it can work for you. Why not? Our imagination, therefore, must always be clear, lofty, wholesome, and constructive with the force of power, love, and sound mind. If we would create superior ideas and build for greater things. When you think of your future, always imagine success and greater things, and have no fear as to the results. Here are some points to ponder. First, by the force of imagination, you can make up your mind as to what you really want in every respect. Secondly, the second step should therefore be to imagine yourself actually living in those surroundings that you have selected as your ideal, and in actually becoming and doing what you are determined to become and do. That has happened in history to many people who have succeeded. Your third step should be to proceed to apply the power of desire, the power of will, the power of scientific thought, and in brief, all your powers in trying to realize those beautiful ideals that you continue to imagine as your own. In the next video, I shall talk about improving the external, that is, your environment, through the power of imagination. Meanwhile, please subscribe if you have not done so. Your viewing and subscribing will be a great contribution to this work. I imagine you are benefiting also. Your positive comments will also be appreciated. Please also share this. Every good thing needs to be shared with other people. So, thank you, and may God bless you.